Bell rolls is the reporter thrown into the secretive world of the Forex Super Model, where nothing is as it seems. Beware the techno monk, and steer clear of Professor Code and his two assistants. Give the senior trader a wide berth, and don't expect any sense from the risk manager. Good morning, I'm Professor Cohn. This is a Forex Super Model daily briefing for Thursday the 5th of the 8th, 2021. The time is just coming up to 0445, quarter to 5 in the morning GMT. Asian session coming to a close, European session firing up, our lunchtime, North American session. Right, yesterday, Wednesday the 4th then, we had a negative unopposed driver in the yen at minus 118. No backdoor flows, the opposing positive flows mainly going into the dollar at plus 99, into the euro at plus 11, and the pound was the positive rock at plus 8. Activity plus or minus 118. Over the week then, intra-week, this is from Monday the 2nd to about 15 minutes ago. We've got a negative opposed driver in the euro at minus 83. Front and backdoor flows mainly going into the yen at plus 76, into the dollar at plus 53. And the pound is the negative rock at minus 46. Activity plus or minus 129. Well, yesterday, if you were watching, you remember we said the main takeaway was going to be a weaker yen complex. Excuse me, and we got that. And over the week, we've had soft euro driving so far, with the bulk of it going into the yen, despite the yen coming off yesterday. So intraday then, that's the Asian session to about 15 minutes ago. We've got a negative unopposed driver in the yen again at minus 59. No backdoor flows, the opposing positive flows going into the dollar at plus 31, into the euro at plus 19, and the pound is the positive rock at plus 9. Activity plus or minus 59. What's been knocking it about? Well, today or yesterday or early morning, depends how you want to view it, we've had positive AUD trade balance, neutral to positive, really pretty good. And yesterday we had ADP, a weak ADP reading. We had a positive yield comments from Clarida in the US, stoking up the US dollar. And today we've got some Bank of England rates decision, and tomorrow we've got NFP. So that's where we are. If you look at the flows, let's have a look at the flows then. Our trades are obviously underwater at the moment because we've been shorting the dollar, long the pound, and shorting the New Zealand dollar and NZD. And all those have been going against us at the moment. Right, euro. The euro is weak, except against the yen, the pound, and the Swiss. The yen is weak across the board. The pound is weak, except against the yen and the Swiss, which are weaker. The Swiss is weak, except against the yen. The CAD is strong, except against the AUD. The AUD is strong across the board. The NZD is strong, except against the AUD and the CAD. And the dollar is weak, except against the yen, the Swiss, and the euro. Right, so what have we got? We've got yen weakness still in the Asian session, and we've got AUD strength, and take your pick in the middle. Right, so let's have a look at the asset classes now. Just get rid of this, and we'll start with the US dollar index. Right, so US dollar index basically looks like something like this. It's come off and it's about there It's about at the old breakout point. It's 0.26 from the high, so it's soft. It's come off about 25% from the high, but it's coming back up at the moment. Right, gold. Gold we thought was going to have a good pump up, but I think the rising dollar has delayed that. It started to happen, but it's been stuffed by noise. And oil had this big shoot up. It came back to base camp, and it's now roughly 0.45 from the floor, so it's below half marks. It's soft again, relatively speaking. Oil. Wall Street, it's got this sort of treble top look to it. It's come off. It's 0.20, 20% off the high really. The S&P basically broke. It's come back a little bit. The tech is quite similar. Near the top, but just sub highs. US 10-year, after our friend Clarida in the US, the US 10-year, this is the price, remember, so the price was coming up, it broke again, and it's now coming back a bit. The price is coming off, so the yields are strengthening up slightly, not much, has to be said. And the bund, which is the European equivalent, basically is steaming like that. So you've got soft yields generally, but due to a bit of noise in the US, you've got a little bit of strengthening in US yields relative to European yields. Copper, you had this chop period, and then you had a decent break, and it's now come back significantly. It's now 0.40 from the floor, so it's come off a long way, copper. And US steel basically is half marks. It's 0.5 from the floor or the top, so pretty soft generally in the commodities. Right, so let's just try and make some sense of it, and then we'll do the final bit. Right, so if you look at the Asian flows, you've got the yen as the unopposed negative driver, right? And then you've got where is it? Pound, euro, dollar on the positive. So as we know, and yesterday we had so that's the Asian session, and yesterday basically pound, euro, dollar. So you had the same situation yesterday. So the Asian session is a continuation. You got negative yen as the unopposed driver, and that means one of two things. It either means the start of a continuous weakness in the yen, or a floor in yen weakness and a rise in the yen. And so looking at the overall picture, it's likely, and equities have had this little pause, it's likely we're going to get a continuation. So let's just look at the majors, and the pound. You've got the pound's got the BOE rates decision coming on. The yen is, this is likely to be a further weakening and a start of a ramp up in equities and the yen. Looking at the way the Asian flows are going, so you're likely to see weakness in the yen. The Bank of England, you've got flows out of the yen. At the moment you've got flows into the dollar, and the euro is sort of neutral, and the pound is, you've got flows out of the pound at the moment. But as I said, you've got the Bank of England BOE announcement today, the rates decision, and the pound has been pretty hammered down. And in positional terms, the pound is a long-term long buy, regardless of noise. So you're likely to see further. The main takeaway is that you're likely to see the yen complex weaken, and it's where those positive flows go. That's the key. And depending on the outcome of the Bank of England, there's a good chance they'll go into the pound, but we don't know yet. So the main thing is that you're likely to see a continuation in yen weakness, and looking at the flows in the Asian session, you've got AUD strength off the back of that data. We're likely to see risk on and equities on the up. So I hope that was useful. See you again tomorrow for the daily briefing, and thank you for watching.